Right then, let's get into it, shall we? Probably the biggest question every Rangers fan is asking right now: who's going to be the next man in the dugout at Ibrox? It's not just some routine managerial appointment. This is a decision that could shape the very future of the club. One wrong move and Rangers risk falling even further behind. But get it right, and it could be the spark that finally ignites a proper challenge to Celtic's dominance. Now there's one name in particular that's come up: Sean Dyche. A man some folks think is a great fit, others not so sure. We've got big updates on him today, but that's only part of the story. We'll talk Dyche, we'll talk Kevin Thelwell, and we'll talk about the chaos and uncertainty that still surrounds Rangers Football Club. So let's start with what we know. Kevin Thelwell, currently still at Everton, is set to become the new sporting director at Rangers. Now, this isn't some throwaway position. It's a critical role. He'll be overseeing recruitment, long-term planning, and most importantly, helping to pick the next manager. Alan Hutton, a man who knows Ibrox inside and out, didn't sugarcoat it. He's warned that Thelwell is walking into a monster of a job. A complete rebuild is needed. Again, and supporters will need to exercise a fair bit of patience, whether they want to or not. Thelwell's CV isn't bad by any stretch. He's worked at Everton, Wolves, and even across the Atlantic with the New York Red Bulls. He's seen different footballing coaches worked in the Premier League, and he's been involved in big decisions at big clubs. That's the good part. But let's be honest, nothing truly prepares you for the pressure cooker that is Rangers Football Club. Not until you're in it. Not until you feel that weight. Because this isn't just about signing a few players and hoping for the best. This is about closing the gap on Celtic, managing the media, handling furious supporters, and dealing with the expectations that come with every single match day. At Rangers, second place is a crisis. Always has been. Now Hutton made a great point. It doesn't matter how much money might be thrown in from a possible takeover. This won't be fixed in a single window. You could give Thelwell $100 million and it still wouldn't be simple. That squad, it needs serious work. Some players are done, some were never good enough, and others haven't shown the heart required to wear the badge. So whoever comes in as manager is walking into a situation that's messy, unpredictable, and brutally demanding. And that brings us to Sean Dyche, a name that's popped up in recent days as one of the frontrunners for the managerial post. He's not necessarily the fans' dream appointment. You probably hear more buzz if it was Steven Gerrard coming back or someone glamorous from Europe. But let's not dismiss Dyche too quickly. He's got attributes that could work at Ibrox, and in some ways, he might be exactly what Rangers need. First of all, Dyche is known for his work ethic and no-nonsense approach. At Burnley, he achieved minor miracles keeping that club in the Premier League with limited resources. People will say his football wasn't pretty, and they'd be right. It was never about flair, but it was effective. It was built on organization, fight, and discipline. The traits Rangers have sorely lacked at times. When he went to Everton, it was more the same. He came into a difficult environment and managed to steady the ship, if only temporarily. Craig Swan said it well. Dyche is about straight talk and hard work and a clear ethos. He's not a manager who'll try to dazzle you with abstract tactics or poetic press conferences. He tells it how it is get stuck in and demands commitment from his players. That could be a breath of fresh air at Ibrox, especially after some of the chaotic spells we've seen in recent seasons. But, and this is where it gets tricky, Scott Burns has pointed out one massive potential problem: Dyche and Kevin Thelwell. They might not exactly be on the same page. Reports suggest their time together at Everton wasn't exactly a match made in heaven. Burns says they didn't always agree on recruitment, especially when it came to foreign players. Dyche apparently wasn't keen on some of the names brought in, didn't give them much of a chance, and that caused friction. And if that's true, it could be a deal breaker. Because here's the thing, Rangers cannot afford another power struggle. Behind the scenes, we've seen it too many times before. The manager wants one thing, the sporting director another, and the club ends up stuck in the middle. There needs to be unity at the top, everyone pulling in the same direction. If Dyche and Thelwell can't find common ground, then it's probably a non-starter. And to be fair, it's not like Dyche is the only candidate. Names like Marco Rose and Steven Gerrard are also floating around. Barry Ferguson's name has even been mentioned, though that seems more of a long shot at this stage. But Dyche sits in that middle tier. Not the flashiest name, not the wildest rumor, but someone who could come in and take control and bring structure to a team in desperate need of it. Away from the managerial saga, there's also the not-so-small matter of Celtic coming to Ibrox this weekend. Newly crowned champions again, and it's got people talking about the possibility of a guard of honor. Chris Boyd, never one to mince words, made it clear that there's absolutely no chance of that happening. Not a hope. He laughed off the idea and said what most Rangers fans are already thinking: the rivalry is just too bitter now. There's no respect left between the clubs, not at boardroom level, and certainly not on the pitch. This isn't Spain or Italy, where traditions like that are upheld. This is Scotland. And the old firm doesn't play by those rules anymore. Boyd went even further. He reckons the relationship between the clubs has hit rock bottom. Celtic won't even call it the old firm these days, and Rangers aren't exactly rushing to roll out the red carpet. So no, there won't be any clapping the champions onto the pitch this Sunday. It'll be full-on war just like always. Still, Boyd says, it'll be a brilliant spectacle. And he's right. Say what you want about the bad blood, the politics, and the press drama. When Rangers and Celtic face off, it still delivers. And there's a lot on the line for the Rangers players. According to Boyd and Barry Ferguson before him, some of these lads are playing for their futures. The rebuild is coming. The axe is swinging. And if you want to be part of the next chapter at Ibrox, you better show it on the pitch. No hiding, no excuses. Perform now or get out the door. So here we are. Rangers stand on the edge of another transformation. A new sporting director. A new manager on the horizon. A squad that needs an overhaul. A fan base desperate for hope. The next few weeks could define the next few years. And whether it's Dyche Rose Gerrard or someone completely unexpected, one thing's certain: this decision has to be right. There's no margin for error anymore. The stakes are just too high. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to hit like and subscribe for more daily Rangers news and opinion. We've got our ear to the ground and we're following every twist and turn. This club never sleeps, and neither do we. See you in the next one. Right then, let's dive straight into part 2. Because if you thought the drama was finished with the managerial hunt, you'd be dead wrong. The real storm, the one that's brewing beneath the surface, is about the squad. The lads wearing the shirt now, the ones running out at Ibrox every week. Well, a good number of them might not be doing that for much longer. The rebuild isn't just a suggestion. It's an absolute necessity. And it's going to be ruthless. See, the writing's been on the wall for a while now. Too many players just haven't stepped up. Some of them were brought in with big expectations. Some arrived with massive wage tags. But when it's mattered most, when the league's been on the line, when trophies have been within reach, they've come up short. And that simply doesn't fly at a club like Rangers. Not when Celtic are lifting title after title. Not when the fans are showing up in their tens of thousands week in and week out demanding more. Let's be blunt, this current squad isn't good enough, not consistently, not mentally, not technically, and Kevin Thelwell knows it. Whoever he appoints as the next manager, they're not walking into a group that just needs a few tweaks. They're walking into a dressing room that needs gutting, a full-on clear-out. Some of these players have been coasting, comfortable, they've had too many chances, and now the axe is coming. Names are already being whispered behind closed doors. Certain contracts won't be renewed. Certain big earners could be told to find new clubs. Youngsters might finally be given a proper shot, not just stuck on the bench while the same underperformers start week after week. The mood at Al-Kanawi is tense. Players know they're being watched. Every game, every training session, every decision on and off the pitch, it's all being scrutinized. Because this summer, Rangers aren't just talking about change, they're preparing to make it. Barry Ferguson said it loud and clear. If you're not good enough, you won't be here next season. No more excuses, no more protection, and let's be honest, Barry knows what it takes. He bled for that shirt. He's seen squads rebuilt before, and he knows it takes a certain type of character to survive that process. The kind who thrive under pressure, the kind who see Celtic lifting the title and think, that's mine next year. Not the ones who crumble or go hiding. Now there's one area that's caused particular concern, the defense. How many times this season have we seen Rangers concede soft, avoidable goals, corners not cleared fullbacks, caught out center halves, switching off at the worst possible moment? It's been infuriating. If you want to win this league, you build from the back. You don't leak goals in big matches. And yet here we are once again questioning the spine of the team. Up front, it's not much better. Rangers have lacked a reliable, ruthless striker all season. You can't compete without someone banging in 25 plus goals a year. We've seen flashes, moments of promise, but not enough end product. And when you compare it to what Celtic have in their ranks, it's night and day. That has to change. There's talk of new attackers coming in. Players with hunger, with bite, with something to prove. And that's exactly what Rangers need. Not just names, not just flashy signings, fighters, winners, lads who'll scrap for every ball, every goal, every inch. And what about the midfield? It's looked pedestrian at times. Lacking dynamism, lacking invention, there's been too much sideways passing. Not enough bravery, not enough risk-taking. Rangers need someone who can grab a match by the scruff of the neck, who can dictate tempo, who can pick a pass that turns a game on his head. It's been far too flat in that department, and the recruitment team, Thelwell included, will need to get that spot on, because a strong midfield controls everything. You lose it there and you lose the battle. So yes, there's a lot to sort out, but with that comes opportunity. This isn't just about getting rid of the deadwood, it's about setting a new standard, rebuilding an identity, making Ibrox a fortress again, making opponents fear that blue jersey. Too often in recent seasons, teams have come to Govan and fancied their chances. That's unacceptable. Rangers used to be relentless, unforgiving. That spirit has to return, and it starts with who you've got in the dressing room. There's also the matter of leadership. Too many times this season when things have gone wrong, heads have dropped. That can't happen. Rangers captains of the past, Guff, Ferguson, Ware, they set the tone. They lifted those around them. Right now you look at a park and you ask, where's that presence? Where's that voice, that fire? It's been missing. And whoever takes that armband next season, well, they better be ready to lead with every fiber of their being. Behind the scenes, there's also a growing buzz about investment. The rumors of a potential takeover haven't gone away. And while nothing's confirmed just yet, if serious money does come into the club, that could transform the rebuild entirely. Not just plugging gaps, but making real ambitious signings, players from a higher caliber, targets who might have seemed out of reach 6 months ago. But again, money doesn't solve everything. The club needs to spend wisely. Every signing has to fit the system, the mentality, the vision. No more flops, no more passengers. This is about building a team, not just collecting talent. And as we speak, scouts are being deployed, meetings are being held, and names are being written down. Some of them you've probably never heard of. Young gems from Scandinavia or Eastern Europe. Others might be more familiar. Proven campaigners from England or the continent. But one thing's for sure, Kevin Thelwell and whoever the managers will have a short list ready. And they'll need to move fast. Because this summer, Rangers can't afford to be reactive. They need to lead the charge. The fans, for their part, are restless, frustrated, tired of second place, tired of false dawns. But they're also loyal, fiercely so. They'll back a proper rebuild. They'll support a team that gives everything. What they won't tolerate is complacency or silence. The club must communicate, must be clear in its intentions, and must deliver on the promises made. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Alan Hansen has never been one to mince his words, and his latest comments have sent a jolt through Scottish football. The former Liverpool and Scotland defender, now a respected pundit, dropped a bombshell by saying plainly, the order was it for Rangers not to win. A statement like that, heavy with implication, has sparked immediate reactions from all corners of the game, from fans on social media to journalists scrambling for context. It's the kind of phrase that doesn't just suggest sporting controversy, it points to something far deeper. Hansen, known for his composed delivery and analytical insight, did not offer much more detail in the brief moment he uttered the line, but the weight of it was unmistakable. Was he talking about a specific match, a historical rivalry, or hinting at a larger scheme behind the scenes in Scottish football? The vagueness is only added to the intrigue. In a country where football is far more than just a game, where it cuts across generations, divides families on derby days, and echoes through the streets of Glasgow, a quote like this cannot be taken lightly. Rangers, a club with a storied history and a massive fan base, have had their share of ups and downs, from dominating eras to financial collapses and fights back to the top. Any suggestion that forces were at play to stop their success, especially coming from someone with Hansen's credibility, is bound to cause a storm. Some supporters have pointed to previous seasons where decisions went against the club, or moments when momentum seemed unnaturally halted. Others believe Hansen may have been speaking metaphorically, perhaps referring to the pressure or scrutiny Rangers have often faced in their quest for silverware. Still, the comment lingers in the air like smoke from a flare on Derby Day. Impossible to ignore and destined to leave a mark. Scottish football is no stranger to drama, but when a legend like Alan Hansen speaks, people listen. And now the question on everyone's lips is simple. What did he really mean? Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.